religion and human history are practically inseparable. While modern faiths grab headlines, ancient belief systems laid the groundwork thousands of years ago. According to archaeological findings, some religious practices date back over 40,000 years. That's older than writing, agriculture, and even permanent settlements. Despite wars, technological revolutions, and cultural shifts, these ancient spiritual roots still influence billions today. Who started it all? Which belief systems truly deserve the title of oldest religion? Stick around, because you're about to discover the most ancient religions that shaped human history. First up, let's talk about what makes a religion ancient. Is it written texts, organized worship, or simply a shared belief in something beyond the physical world? Dating ancient religions isn't easy. The line between religion, mythology, and daily life was often blurry. Early humans didn't separate going to temple from living their lives. It was all connected. Starting with the earliest form of spiritual belief, we have animism, which is one of the oldest forms of spiritual belief, dating back tens of thousands of years. It's not one religion, but a shared idea among many indigenous cultures. Everything in nature has a spirit: trees, animals, rivers, even rocks. These spirits could be ancestors, animals, or natural forces. Found mostly in early hunter-gatherer societies, animism is considered by many experts to be the first form of religion. Moving to more organized belief systems, we find ancient Egyptian religion, with origins around 3000 BCE. The Egyptians created one of history's most fascinating spiritual systems. At its heart was divine kingship. Pharaohs weren't just rulers, they were living gods, walking among mortals. Their religion was packed with deities: Ra, Isis, Osiris, Horus, and dozens more. Each god controlled different aspects of life and nature. The Egyptians were obsessed with the afterlife, creating elaborate tombs and developing mummification to prepare for the journey beyond death. Those magnificent pyramids, they weren't just architectural showpieces, they were massive gateways to the afterlife for their god kings. Next up, Mesopotamian religions from the cradle of civilization, dating to around 3500 BCE. Between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, the Sumerians built the first cities and some of the earliest organized religions. They believed in many gods who ruled over different parts of life, like war and beer. To please these gods, they performed rituals and sacrifices, often at large temple towers called ziggurats. Later groups like the Babylonians and Assyrians kept many of these beliefs. Stories like the Epic of Gilgamesh show how people in this region thought deeply about life, death, and the gods. To the east, the Indus Valley civilization also had a mysterious religion around 3300 BCE, though we still don't know much about it. This advanced urban society thrived in what's now India and Pakistan, but their religious practices remain largely a mystery. Why? Their writing system has never been fully deciphered. Archaeological findings give us tantalizing clues, though. The famous Pashupati seal shows a figure surrounded by animals, possibly an early form of the god Shiva. Other artifacts suggest they worshipped a mother goddess and practiced ritual, bathing in special pools. Some scholars believe these Indus Valley beliefs laid the groundwork for later Hinduism, but without cracking their language, we can't know for sure. In ancient China, the Shang dynasty, 1600 to 1046 BCE, left behind unique evidence of their religious practices: oracle bones. These were animal bones and turtle shells used for divination. Priests would carve questions on the bones, apply heat until they cracked, and then interpret the patterns to divine answers from the spirit world. The Shang people focused heavily on ancestor worship. They believed deceased family members could influence the living from the spirit world. These practices eventually evolved into complex systems like Taoism and Confucianism that would shape Chinese culture for millennia. Now we reach Hinduism, often called the world's oldest major living religion. Hinduism began with the Vedic religion around 1500 BCE, but it grew and changed over thousands of years, blending different beliefs. Unlike many ancient religions, Hinduism didn't disappear. It continued to grow, and is still followed by over 1 billion people today. Its key texts, the Vedas and Upanishads, are some of the oldest religious writings. Hinduism teaches ideas like karma, what goes around comes around, dharma, doing what's right, and moksha, freedom from the cycle of rebirth. It has many gods, with Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva as the main three. Next is Zoroastrianism, one of the world's earliest monotheistic religions. Founded by the prophet Zoroaster, or Zarathustra, in ancient Persia around the 6th century BCE, this faith centered on the worship of Ahura Mazda, the supreme deity. Zoroastrianism introduced revolutionary concepts like cosmic dualism, the eternal battle between good and evil. While small in numbers today, Zoroastrianism's influence has been enormous. Its ideas about heaven, hell, judgment day, and a final battle between good and evil influenced Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. The faith's emphasis on good thoughts, good words, good deeds created one of history's first ethical religious frameworks. Their sacred text, the Avesta, contains some of humanity's oldest religious writings. Judaism, with origins around the 2nd millennium BCE, stands as one of the world's oldest monotheistic faiths still practiced today. Tracing its roots to Abraham and the ancient Israelites, Judaism centers on belief in one God and a covenant relationship with that deity. The faith is guided by the Torah, containing laws and teachings believed to have been revealed to Moses on Mount Sinai. Throughout its long history, Judaism has survived despite persecution and diaspora. Its emphasis on ethical monotheism and the prophetic tradition has influenced many later religions. Buddhism emerged in the 5th century BCE when Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, achieved enlightenment and began teaching in northern India. Unlike many earlier religions, Buddhism doesn't focus on gods, but rather on ending suffering through the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. It teaches that desire causes suffering, and liberation comes through enlightenment. Buddhism spread throughout Asia, developing distinct traditions like Theravada, Mahayana, and Vajrayana. Today, it's practiced by over 500 million people worldwide. Jainism, another ancient Indian religion, also dates back to the 5th to 6th century BCE. Founded by Mahavira, though Jains believe their faith is eternal, Jainism emphasizes nonviolence, ahimsa toward all living beings, truthfulness, and non-attachment. Jains believe in the soul and karma, seeking liberation through ascetic practices and ethical living. The religion's extreme commitment to nonviolence, some Jains wear masks to avoid harming microscopic organisms, makes it one of history's most radically peaceful faiths. So what's the verdict? What truly is the world's oldest religion? Animism sees spirits in nature, trees, animals, rivers, and is still found in many indigenous cultures today. Hinduism, rich and evolving, continues to thrive with over 1 billion followers. Even newer faiths like Christianity and Islam show influences from older religions like Zoroastrianism. Ancient beliefs still shape the modern world in surprising ways. If this journey through spiritual history blew your mind, hit that like button like an Egyptian offering to the gods. And drop your thoughts in the comments. Which ancient religion would you like to learn more about?